Well, today I have another story for you from my past, and it relates to the time I used to work in an advertising studio in Kensington. Now, we had done this really rather classy photo that was eventually plastered on the side of all of the London buses advertising Barbados. In order to do this prior to Photoshop, the art director had organised a load of wooden letters about chest height to be made out of plywood. I had to literally go and pick them up and walk them one or two at a time halfway across London. Slight exaggeration, maybe a quarter of a mile. BARBADOS. So these black letters were placed on a white background, and because that word Barbados was too big for the studio, it was done in two halves, BARB and ADOS. And what they did was they got models, like bikini clad models or hunky looking guys with harpoons to sort of lounge across these letters. It was great fun, and one of the guys had a fish in his hand, which I remember wasn't red enough for the art director. He said, no, that fish is not red enough. It had to be coloured, especially by some specialist fish painter. But I also remember him holding it for hours on end, like in the photo, with his harpoon in one hand and the fish in the other, and must have killed his arm. But also the fish started to fall apart from its tail. I remember that also. Anyway, the shot was done. Everyone went home, and I was in charge of clearing up. I was only a lad really then. And of course it was summer. It was the end of the working period. We decided we'd all go on holiday at the same time. You're probably getting the gist of this. I left the fish in the bin for 2 weeks. I was also the first one back on that Monday 2 weeks later, and I smelt it straight away. Thankfully, the other guys were fairly good natured about it, but it absolutely ponged. So I didn't get into too much trouble, thankfully. But I will tell you another story where I did get into a little bit more trouble.